Shana Tova. I pray that whatever is new or hard on these high holy days, despite any technical challenges, or for many the reality of being alone, you are making today as good as it can be. So right now, take some deep breaths to be here, fully here on this Rosh Hashanah day. These days of awe are for us to lift up our courage, faith, and compassion. We will be hearing more about faith and compassion. Today, I want to center our focus on courage, the courage we need for ourselves and our world. In Hebrew, it is ometz lev, literally translated as heart strength. You have so much strength, even when it feels you do not. And even if you truly do not, there is a spark of strength that you can always access. Ometz lev, courage. It is a core Jewish value, a spiritual and ethical trait that we naturally have because we are created in the divine image. As contemporary teacher Rabbi Mark Margolius instructs, even those who consider themselves fearful or anxious can access the quality of ometz lev in any given moment. We practice ometz lev whenever we leave our comfort zone, take an unpopular stand, expose our vulnerabilities, speak the truth, confront others, risk embarrassment or personal loss, or intervene on behalf of those who are unable to do so for themselves. And the world needs our heart strength. It needs you not to be lulled into disconnection because of quarantine, or into the depths of sadness with the true devastation of this pandemic. We may feel paralyzed at times, because the problems are so great, and we may right now be alone or within the chaos of kids. And even when we do manage to act or think we can do something, we get stuck, feeling that we cannot make enough of a difference with the changes in the climate or inequities in our society or against the forces of autocracy. The world needs our resilience and finding ways to work together even when we are apart. Hemingway writes in his Farewell to Arms, "Life breaks all of us. Some grow strong at the broken places. That is heart strength, ometz lev." Our Shabbat prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah, has a prayer that we rarely say out loud. It is in the midst of our silent Amidah, our standing prayer, and even on our day of rest, Shabbat, and even today, Rosh Hashanah, we are challenged with these words, which I invite our president, Mount Zion President Michael Cooney, to now read.
Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action.
There is so much to be vexed by. The question is, What will we have the courage to do? Next Rosh Hashanah, how will you look back on this year that is to come? There is so much at stake. Will we have done enough? Will we have even tried as we felt powerless? I want to share a firsthand account of a time in the 1930s when the powers of evil were great. Not to draw an analogy, but to acknowledge with realism that it is easy to look back about what we would have done. But would we have? It is in some people's human nature to minimize challenges. Our heart strength needs to be with our eyes wide open. In 1938, Rabbi Harry Sterling Margolis had already served Mount Zion as its rabbi for over 13 years, when the world events demanded much from all people, as powerless as they might have felt. Here is what he said on Rosh Hashanah morning that year, 1938, 2 months before Kristallnacht. I deprecate the constant beating of our breasts, and I deplore the self-castigation. Is there any people on the face of God's earth today that has shown and exhibited greater heroism under duress, a greater spirit of sacrifice, a greater loyalty to its weaker and most suffering brothers, a deeper sense of solidarity than our people? And I am glad to know that we are rapidly banishing from our ranks in these times the mood of defeatism and despair. For no people is at its best when it is frightened. One cannot appeal to the generosity of the people when they are terrified. These difficult days have renewed the spirit of hope which the prophets of Israel always thought their people needed in dark nights of suffering. Al tira avdi Yaakov, do not be afraid, my servant Jacob. Jewish life is not liquidating anywhere on the face of the earth. Comfort ye, my people. Even when thou shalt pass through the deep waters, I shall be with thee, and the fires which are kindled against thee will not consume thee. This is the actual paper that he held in 1938, delivering those words. Do not be afraid, my servant Jacob. Jewish life is not liquidating anywhere on the face of the earth. I shudder thinking about these words spoken here on the eve of the Shoah. How our people has always held onto hope. The next year, as the war broke out, he spoke on Kol Nidre. 1939. We meet tonight in the darkest period of our people's history. There is hardly a record in our long, checkered career as a people to compare with what is going on in Jewish life today. For the first time in centuries, our brethren in various parts of the world have been unable to hold Holy Day services. In many Polish communities, synagogues and schools are used to house the unfortunate and the distressed. Approximately 2 million of Poland's 3,300,000 Jews are already under Nazi domination. And even here, after that sermon, he ends with hope. When his people were distressed beyond words and burdened with tragedy and suffering, when dense darkness had descended upon the earth and there seemed no hope, the same Jeremiah who asked on another occasion, "Is there no balm in Gilead?" comforted and strengthened his people in these words, which I pray may be our hope and comfort in the days ahead. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. 1 year later, 1940, he opens with this one sentence. We are living in a world of incredible darkness and confusion. We know little of what is going on, and what we know, we find it difficult to understand. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of hatred and war. There is no denying real hatreds. Sometimes the forces are overwhelming, and what can we do? On this Rosh Hashanah, I am speaking of courage, and yet I feel challenged. Rabbi Margolis died from cancer a year after World War II ended, just shy of his 50th birthday. In a very different time today, I cannot help but be reflective. I think about my own family. I think about my own life, having just celebrated my 50th birthday. Shock us? Disturb us? Are you kidding? I have enough on my plate just to get through this day. Life breaks all of us. Some grow strong at the broken places. And so we pray. Chazak ve'amatz are the only words that Moses offers Joshua, his successor. Be strong and of good courage. In every generation, we face our realities and try to muster our courage. Our Shabbat prayer ends, let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Somehow we need the heart strength, the ometz lev, to face this coming year and to find a way to make a difference. In 1940, Rabbi Margolis concluded with these words, "Men and women of Mount Zion, we need no new techniques to face these difficult days. It is not enough for us to accept passively the evils of our time or vigorously to affirm our innocence of evil. What is needed is a ringing affirmation of our Jewish faith, our Jewish devotion and reconsecration to the religious ideals of our Torah." His message was a rekindling of our ancient wisdom. Yes, our people have known dark days and persevered with ometz lev and with hope despite the darkness. We need to start with ourselves, deepening commitments to the truths of our ancient wisdom, and then reach out with the smallest act of kindness. It will radiate hope and love and possibility. Will it be sufficient? I don't know. Will it make a difference? I have no doubt. And there are people in our community for whom even the smallest acts are a challenge. Part of our work together is to hold everyone in our hearts and support each person who is not able to act. We know this, we accept it, and it is okay. For those who can do more, much more is needed. Be mindful of the words of Rabbi Tarfon, the day is short, the work is much, and the master of the house is insistent. It is not incumbent upon you to finish the task, but neither are you free to absolve yourself from it. We need to be bold and creative and then act. That is the heart strength required to face the darkness of today. As Rabbi Margolius taught, we practice ometz lev whenever we leave our comfort zone. Take an unpopular stand. Expose our vulnerabilities. Speak the truth. Confront others. Risk embarrassment or personal loss and intervene on behalf of those unable to do so for themselves. The British explorer Sir Francis Drake concluded his prayer entitled, "Disturb us, Lord," with these words with which I conclude. Disturb us, Lord, to dare more boldly, to venture on wider seas, where storms will show your mastery, where losing sight of land, we shall find the stars. We ask you to push back the horizons of our hopes and to push into the future in strength, courage, hope, and love. This is a moment of decision. To be disturbed in the way that religion is meant to stir our souls. What will you say next Rosh Hashanah about what you did this year? Will you find your heart strength? Can Yehi Ratzon be this God's will and our mandate and our inspiration? Shana Tova.